Episode 4 of the Cubbie Corner here this offseason. South Bend Cubs broadcasters Max Toma and Brennan King here with you. BK, how you doing today?
What's up, Max? Number 4 already.
Already? Number 4?
Number
Hey,
4.
we're cooking.
I love it.
Hey, we're recording this on Tuesday, so it's the day after Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
Thursday, it's officially 50 days till opening day.
That's going to be here before you know it, too. April 8th is going to be a really good day at Four Winds Field. Quad Cities River Bandits come in. I mean, it just feels like, I don't know about you. I mean, last year was pretty normal, but April 8th, 2022 just feels like the supreme normalcy. Like we're in a season, good to go. It just feels really, really nice to be at that number 50.
And it's nice that, this year is going to be interesting as well because we're set in stone, obviously, April 8th, but pretty fluid situation with Major League Baseball right now. But no matter what's happening, South Bend Cubs in action April 8th, as you said, versus Quad Cities. You can buy single game tickets starting March 9th. That's coming up. Hey, on Wednesday here in South Bend, it's gonna be pretty warm. We're gonna have weather in the 50s. Maybe it's getting a little warmer here. It's gonna start to feel more and more like baseball's around the corner.
Yeah, I think Joe Hart posted on Facebook 60 and sunny for opening day. So those are the vibes you need going into April. Get some 60 and sunny because you and I have both done games when we needed gloves and hats in the broadcast booth.
It's all about the positive energy going in. The weatherman's got to be on the right page. The fans need to be on the right page. Every employee needs to if anybody says it's going to be cold, all of a sudden it's going to snow in like the 5th. But if we all have positive vibes only.
Yeah, I'll never forget the story. I forgot who first told me this, but it was like the first ever opening day in South Bend. Theo Epstein showed up with Andrew Berlin, and apparently it was all rainy and it was kind of looking gross and not great. Theo Epstein and Andrew Berlin walk out of the tunnel, coming out of the locker rooms, and suddenly the skies part and the sun comes out, and the Cubs win their first ever home game as the South Bend Cubs on a walk-off home run from Cal Brockmeyer. So exactly, those are the vibes you need going in.
We're going for that exact kind of energy. So first thing I want to talk about before we get into your interview with South Bend Cubs fan favorite Delvin Zinn. I want to talk about the shirt I'm wearing today.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed this thing, but I am sadly they got to go with me as the model currently in this offseason. But how about this shirt? This shirt was actually designed by our very own Chris Hagstrom. It's an obvious shirt. They just dropped it. It just came to the team store yesterday. You can go buy it online or come on down and check out Mary Lou in the team store here in person at Four Winds Field. But how you liking this?
That's a good look, man. And props to Chris because it is an obvious shirt. It tells you exactly what you need to know about the Cubs system. But also, it's got the punctuation perfectly too. We got one-word sentences, and it tells you exactly what you need to know. So, and after working 2 years in South Bend as the low A affiliate, we love the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, but to kind of be number 3 on that list, that feels good.
You know what I like, and it's not by design. It just happenstances. It visually looks very nice as I put my hand on the wrong side. It's like a very nice foundation going, from short,
exactly.
Short all the way down to longer.
Yeah, the aesthetic of that is perfect.
Aesthetic.
Like the aesthetic. The closest you get though is the Tennessee, the E in Tennessee and the D in South Bend. But other than that, that works out perfect. I'm rocking some Midwest League champions gear. So can't ever. Still the reigning Midwest League champions, by the way.
Reigning Midwest League champions opening against the inaugural High A Central champions.
That's true.
On that day,
I think they did that. They did that on purpose for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. And that should be a fun one. A little Royals affiliate, Cubs affiliate action. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about before we get into your interview is last week we saw on social media a nice post. Yeah. Tyler Durna is retiring, a guy who's been in South Bend for a few years. You got to broadcast him here. I got to broadcast him here. Just talk to me a bit about Tyler Durna and what we're gonna miss.
Yeah, Max. I think I'll always remember Tyler Durna, the player. But even more so, I'm going to remember Tyler Durna, the person. And a big shout out too goes out to former South Bend Cubs pitcher Garrett Kelly, former Wake Forest Demon Deacon, who also announced his retirement. So Dern and G did it around the same time. But, the thing about Dern is, he came in as a 15th round pick. And I remember sitting in the South Bend Cubs production office during the draft of 2018. And I turned to Chris. I said, "Hey, the Cubs just drafted a first baseman." It's like, that never happens. When's the last time that happened, right? But you meet Dern the first few weeks of that 2019 season, and the personality just flows out. And Max, as you know, Dern too. But I think my favorite Dern story, and I'll make it quick before we get to DZ, is that when I came back to work with you this past summer, Dern was still on the team. And I texted him a couple days before that I'm going to be in town broadcasting the game. It's like, all right, see you then. So I walk out and see him. The first thing he's wearing are his like pink sepia sunglasses.
Knew right what you were going for.
Right. And you might have been here for this story. And I say, Dern, you're rocking the glasses. He goes, man, if Brendan King's going to be in South Bend, I got to wear these. It's just because those mesmerize me. You can put those things on. It's like you're watching life in HD. So again, just a tremendous person, and a guy that, Max, I think us sitting in the broadcast booth, you just always knew he was going to get that clutch base hit.
Yeah, a guy who, there's just certain guys who just see the ball so well out of the hand. He just had such a keen eye at the plate. And, there wasn't a better defensive first baseman last year in the High A Central. That guy is just an absolute vacuum. And he's going to be missed by all of his fellow infielders for sure, because anytime there's a bad throw, especially if you miss low, he's going to dig it up. There's really no question about it. But as you mentioned, just a terrific guy off the field. Always fun to chat with. Always goes out of his way to help make our day a little bit easier. Gonna miss Tyler Dern, Garrett Kelly as well. And I see them with some fun in their futures, some new adventures is what I should say. So let's get to the interview. DZ, shortstop last year with the South Bend Cubs. He got bumped up to Tennessee towards the end of the year. What did you like most about sitting down with Del?
You talk about Tyler Dern being a spectacular human being. DZ is just as genuine as you're going to get. And, what came up in the interview is like, athletes make a bond sometimes with the city that they're in. And a lot of times it doesn't take a long while for you to be there. And I realized DZ spent parts of 3 years in South Bend, but it wasn't for a full 3 years, right? So what we're seeing here in Indy right now is Lance Stevenson back with the Pacers. And my comparison for Delvin was the ovation that Lance gets at Pacers games is exactly how the crowd at Four Winds Field feels about Del. So I think everybody's rooting for him. I hope that he has a spectacular year. And look, he's looking really good too, physical wise. He put on some big time muscle. So, is DZ turning into a power hitter? We'll have to see.
Could be a power hitter. And last year, man, he led pretty much minor league baseball in steals.
No kidding.
Seemed like from about 1 month into the season through the rest of the way. The kid can fly. Seems to be working on his hands a lot this offseason too. Got that bright red glove. DZ's just always a ball energy, always a joy, always high-fiving the crowd when he's on the on-deck circle. Just fan favorite. Everybody loves him. Here's the interview. BK and Delvin Zinn.
We welcome you to the Cubbie Corner. I'm South Bend Cubs broadcaster Brendan King, joined alongside an all-time fan favorite in the Bend, and as 3-year South Bend Cubs man, Delvin Zinn. 2019 Midwest League champion. You got a ring, DZ. It's great to see you, man. Yeah, as you get ready for 2022. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm making it all right. Everything's good. Just getting ready to go.
Yeah. Do you know exactly when you're heading to AZ, or is that still to be determined?
I'm heading out on March 2nd. I sent the email about a couple weeks ago.
So, DZ, I guess as you get set for another spring training, one thing we haven't talked, probably for a year or so since I saw you in the Bend when I was doing those marquee games, of as you get ready for another spring training. Look, you're not 20, you're not 21 anymore. You're one of the older guys going to spring training in the minor league system. So do you feel a little bit different heading to spring training just this year from a perspective that you're going to be one of the leadership guys?
Right. I just feel like this year it's a little more confidence because I've done it for 4 years now, and I know how my body needs to feel. Know where I can last the whole time, because a couple springs I got hurt early because I didn't think my body wasn't where it needed to be. But now I think I'm good and ready to go.
What do you think you've learned most about your body and being an athlete now, going through a full 140 multiple times in your career, especially in South Bend? Your first time under Jimmy Gonzalez, then under Buddy Bailey.
Right. Nutrition was the biggest thing. I used to eat, being from the South, like everything I ate was fried and fried twice, 3 times. So being from the South, that kind of hurt a little bit, but the transition's been good. Our nutrition team is the best around. So what I eat, what I put in my body what I drank before and after games for recovery because I still don't like the cold tub at all. But now I know that I have to do it in order to play 140 games and the style I play, which is running and diving. So I have to do it.
They kept you guys up with the smoothie machine. I feel like those smoothies looked fire every time I walked in the clubhouse giving the box scores after the game.
I tell you what, they're getting better and better. They used to just be good for you, didn't taste good. They figured something out.
Well, when are you getting back to the 574 to have dinner at the McGill's? Isn't that like a tradition now?
Man, I'm gonna have to get back up. It's too cold now. I'm not for the cold. I don't like snow or any of that. So any free time when it's warm, I'm gonna try to get back up there.
Actually, that brings up a good point. Do you think that gives you any benefit, the fact that being from Mississippi, you pretty much get the year-round ability to train outside? And I get that you have to go in the cage, you have to go in the gym, but does having the ability to train outside year-round, do you think that benefits you?
Oh, yeah, I think it's a huge advantage because up north they have to stay inside and don't get sunshine for 3 months. So I mean, I'm outside almost every day if it's not raining.
I mean, that's the way to do it. What do you think you've been focusing on most, DZ, with the training leading up to when you get to AZ?
Working on my swing right now. Well, my stance, shorten it up a little bit, feel a little stronger with it. It's working so far right now. Probably start seeing pitching next week. So we'll see how that goes. But right now I'm feeling really good about it.
Have you always felt like your glove, do you have to work as much on your glove, or do you think that comes more naturally?
I think it's always been more natural. Like I work hard on it, but I spend way more time hitting than I do defense.
Well, and again, the experience that you had in South Bend, first with Jimmy, but I think it's weird. This is something that Andy Weber and I were talking about, of when you have Buddy, right, as your manager, you're getting that glove work every day, no matter what. But I think what helped you the most, Del, was you got reps at nearly every position, right? You're getting reps at third, you're getting reps at short, you're getting reps at second. And early on in that 2019 season, you're really switching up between the three positions.
Mm-hmm. But the way Buddy practices it, I was ready for anything at that point because I was going to get 100 at third, 100 at short, 100 at second. I was just waiting for the day for him to put me at first. But he loves it, man. I feel like that season was probably the most I've been prepared for each game. And the numbers show it's probably one of my best years. Like the work he put in, that he made us put in before games, like really helped us make the game a lot easier.
With having three managers, and again, you were in South Bend for parts of 3 seasons, Jimmy Gonzalez, Buddy Bailey, and Michael Ryan, did you see any similarities between the three? And then how did each of them kind of contrast in their styles managing, you think?
They all were big on respecting the game, playing the game the right way. Don't take stuff for granted. But the difference is Jimmy was more of a chill guy, more of a, just get your work done. Buddy was the enforcer of the work, and Michael Ryan was a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think that sums it up perfectly. And Michael Ryan's time in South Bend was short. It was just announced Lance Reimel will be the manager of the South Bend Cubs, who did a great job in the Arizona Fall League. But pending where you go, DZ, and what happens with you, I mean, let's say you go back to AA Tennessee, and you'll get another full season with Michael Ryan.
Right. I'm looking forward to it. I absolutely love the guy. I love his passion towards the game. I don't think I've ever had a manager that excited about playing the game. I loved it.
That's awesome. You had a short stint, DZ, at AA Tennessee last year, I think 24 games or so after you got the call up from South Bend. This was something I asked Webb a couple weeks ago, but when you first got to AA, was there anything you noticed immediately about the quality of pitching there?
Yeah, they worked corner to corner, and then if they figured out a way to get you out, it was going to keep counting. No matter if you hit it once or not, it's going to keep doing it. So early on, my first game or so, 3 for 4, 2 doubles, and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I don't think I got to hit again for a week. And I don't think I got to hit again for a week for the rest of the series. I mean, they just kept pounding it. That part of the zone, they figured out I wasn't touching. And if you miss a pitch there, your bat's pretty much over with. It's just battling from that point. They don't miss often. So when they miss, you got to hit it.
And this is something I want to ask you too, Del. You've always been a speedster. And again, that's what you mentioned earlier is big part of your game. And so 2018, I looked up the South Bend stats. 2018 South Bend, 14 out of 17 stealing bags. Very respectable. 2019, 16 out of 21. That was in a short time in South Bend before we got the call to Myrtle. But then 2021, where I wasn't around as much, but we got to see each other multiple times. You know, I'm walking in to get ready for the broadcast with Max, and I'm looking at your stats. So like, Dell's at 40 stolen bases, and 42 out of 48. So did anything change, or was it just a matter of Dell being more aggressive on the base path?
You know, they had the rule change, but I didn't think that made much of a difference. But from the go, Michael Ryan was like, "You got the green light." So you got the green. I had a good spring price though, 10 in spring and probably 6 games, and he was like, "You got the green light, just go." I started getting good jumps, and the first 30 were actually pretty easy. Like none of them were really that competitive, but it was just more confidence going. I've probably the first year I've had the green light for the most part. So, and early on I got on base a lot, so I was just trying to put my teammates in better situations by me being a second.
Well, that's got to be good practice during spring training, right? If you're practicing stealing bases during spring training, because when you think about DZ, the quality of catchers that you've played with over the years, I mean,
Right.
Of course, the Cubs catching unit, at least in the minor leagues, is led by Miguel Amaya, who, by all accounts, will be a spectacular major league player. It's just a matter of getting healthy for Miguel. But man, the quality of catchers in the Cubs system, that must be a great test getting ready for the season to balance yourself on the base paths.
Right, it's good because they are good. I remember trying to steal off Pareto one time, and I don't even think I got the slide. He's got a cannon. Miggy's good. I think I'm 1 for 2 on Miggy. But the biggest test this year is going to be Winston. He's been talking. He's been talking a lot of junk, so I got to get him at least twice. I got to. That's my dog, but I got to get him. Every time I stole the base, he congratulate me and be like, "You wouldn't do it on me though." So I got to get him.
Oh, that's spectacular. Man, Del, one thing I love about you is you're a straight shooter, man. You always keep it real, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. And that was evident the first time we met each other in that 2018 season. But you, of course, as I mentioned at the top of the interview, you became a fan favorite in South Bend. And that was not only through your community service work, through your work with the fans, the kids signing autographs, being there during every event, whether, that was the Meyer Baseball Academy, teaching the kids on the field. Why does it bring you so much joy to get so involved with the teams you are
on? I just love it, man, because I remember I used to be that kid, go to a game and somebody not stop, and I remember that feeling. So I just always wanted to give back that way, because it might be their first time there. You never know who's the first time to see you play. So that's why I always play hard. And then I think it's fun. Like, it makes my day. Like, seeing a kid smile to give him a ball, or talk to him after the game and stuff like that. I really do enjoy it. And I think it makes it a lot easier for me to play because, you're not playing for you. Now you're just, playing to make somebody else's day.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. And it resonated with the fans in South Bend too. I remember when I got back in August of 2020 to do that marquee game with Max you were already getting big applauses when you came up anyway. But man, when you were stealing bases and you were swiping and people were going nuts about it. So I think the people became fans of you. You were obviously fans of them. It was just an instant connection. Actually, when I was preparing for this interview, Del, when I was trying to think of somebody that had so much of a love affair with the city, being here in Indy and working with the Colts and working with the Pacers, but right now with the Pacers, like Lance Stevenson's back in town, and Lance Stevenson was actually, so he had that 20-point first quarter against Brooklyn a few weeks ago. And he was asked after the game of like, why do you play so well in a Pacers uniform? He goes, man, when I put on a Pacers jersey, I just feel like I have superpowers. I feel like it's the same thing when you put on a South Bend Cubs jersey.
I feel the exact same way. All my best years have been in South Bend. It just homey. Like right now, honestly, I love the city. I would move there if it wouldn't cold. But
just in the summer.
It's the only thing stopping me. I absolutely love the city, and they accepted me with open arms for the past 3 seasons.
You should work it out with somebody. You could go into like the master's program at Notre Dame, only for summer classes.
That's what I'm saying. I just got to be a part of the city somehow.
Yeah, I love it. This is something I wanted to ask you too, Del, for a little bit of, South Bend Cubs fans might not know, and I'm sure this was mentioned in one of like the game day programs that you were in, but you also had a very terrific basketball career, and
Mhm.
you debated basketball and baseball, what you wanted to go into, and you were drafted by the Chicago Cubs twice,
Mhm.
but playing basketball, DZ, what did it ultimately come to where you chose baseball over basketball?
Well, basketball has always been my first love. My mom played college ball. She absolutely loved it, so I've always been around it. I didn't really get into baseball until I was around like 7 or 8. But I always had a basketball. Got really good. Started getting interest in colleges, and then my pops comes up to me and he's like, around my junior year in high school, he comes up to me and he's like, "Man," he's like, "I'm proud of you and all that, but you're like 5'9". And I'm like, I'm 5'10" on a good day. And he's like, "You gotta think about it." He said, "You can go to college and be a 4-year starter, and then that'll be it. Have a good college career, and then you're in the workforce, or you can try this baseball thing out." Because at the time, like, baseball offers really wasn't coming in at the time. So he was like, "Take this baseball stuff serious, and then just see what happens." And I'm glad I listened to him. Now I'm here.
Dad knows best, as always.
Yeah.
But again, so do you feel like what's the highest like level of basketball you think you could walk to right now and play well?
Play well right now? Oh, I ain't played in a minute.
Are we talking are we talking like pickup basketball, or you think you could go play D3 and actually survive out there?
I think I can play. I can get about a mid-major and survive right now. I feel like.
Wow. Okay, so you're playing in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I can be a mid-major. I think so.
We'll have to. I don't know if there's any basketball goals in Arizona by the spring training site, but we'll have to get some one-on-one matchups with like you and Cam.
Yeah, we have to. I'll ask him about it. He know.
Is Cam a hooper? Cam Balego?
Yeah, he likes to hoop. At our house that we stayed in about 2 springs ago, had like a full court, and we just go out there and shoot around. He's not bad.
I would like to see a Cam versus Dell one-on-one match.
It'll be quick.
It'll be quick. Playing to 7. Oh man, Delvin Zinn, one of the best of all time. DZ, if there's one thing that sticks out about you, again, and I consider you one of the best that I've met in my travels, but I remember doing an interview with you. We were in Lansing and we were watching Griffin Conine take batting practice. We were just like, home runs, just boom, 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 boom. But we were doing an interview for a story. One thing that you said that I'll always remember and that will always resonate with me is that your mom once told you to be the same person, to have a smile on your face, whether you're flipping fries or whether you're on the baseball field. And I know you take that to heart. I know what you take what your mom says to heart, but I think that always stuck with me. And again, Del, you've impacted a lot of lives, my man.
Good, man. I guess these people don't know how much they've impacted my life, man. They're making this fun and enjoyable.
Delvin Zinn, 3-year South Bend Cub. He is on his way in the Chicago Cubs system with us on the Cubbie Corner. DZ, appreciate the time, brother, and have a lot of fun at spring training this year.
Man, I appreciate you having me on. Good to hear from you again.
You got it, man.
There you have it, our very own Delvin Zinn and BK. BK, just always such a treat to catch up with Delvin Zinn.
Truly. And as I said before the interview too, just about as genuine as you're going to get. And what we said towards the back end of that interview, I'll never forget interviewing DZ for the game program once. And again, I think it was in Lansing, but we were watching Griffin Conine taking batting practice and just watching him at just nukes over the center field wall in Lansing. It was unbelievable. But, talking to Dell about, he's always had the same approach, growing up in Mississippi. His mom always told him, be the same person, whether you're playing shortstop or you're flipping fries. And that quote just always stuck out to me. And that's who Delvin Zinn is.
Yeah, guy comes from a great family. That's kind of what we were talking about last week with Jordan Wicks. Yeah. A lot of these guys take the personalities of the people they were raised with. And yeah, just a great dude. I mean, just always, is there a bigger smile? There's a few people who always have like a smile that just lights up the place. He's got some bright white teeth too.
He does. And
might need to recommend a local dentist because guy's doing well.
Unless he's doing that teeth whitening too. But yeah, I mean, he always had, great guys supporting him along the way, whether that was Cam Balego or, Chris Singleton in 2018, former Paul DeGooch Service Award winner, or, a guy like Tyler Durna, Andy Weber. There have been some characters on these teams. I remember there was a bromance at one time between DZ and Cole Roeder. So there have been some great characters and bromances along the way.
It's also a fun time of year where now you brought up Cole Roederer. You just saw a picture a few days ago of Cole and Brennan out there in Arizona together. It's such
They're
a fun
looking
time.
huge.
Such a fun time of year. Well, yeah, Brennan was looking massive. And those guys were just playing like the waste management. They were just playing hole 16 before, a few days before hole 16 got showered in beer there. But it's just so fun to see, the entire organization out there in spring training. A lot of the guys got there this week. It reminds me of the next guy we're interviewing is DJ Hers next week. He's been out there since November, a guy who's just really putting in the work after a historic season.
Yeah, and I think everybody that we've talked to for sure, and I'm sure many more in the organization, as we talked about at the top of the show, Max, people are just excited to be out there, normal with their friends, training. And again, there's no uncertainty, at least from a minor league perspective, about getting going. So you could prepare like the season's about to start on April 8th. And I think that's the approach of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to feel like normal to them after, like you said, it wasn't normal in 2020. Obviously, spring training was cut short and then there was no season. 2021, you kind of had COVID hanging over. But this year for minor league baseball, hey, we know when we're starting. We know when everyone's reporting. We know exactly when everything is going. It's going to be going to a rigorous, regimented schedule. And we're well on our way towards April 8th and opening day. Hoping to see you in person soon, BK.
Yeah. We are getting ready to start rolling with March Madness here in Indy. And once that's done, you and I will be together in the booth again. Can't wait, my man.
Madness tips off, middle of March. And then, God, what a great time of the year that is. You get the Madness cooked up right after conference tourney time.
Oh, man.
And then you get a little Masters action and baseball kicks off. And I'll
tell you what, you have to get down here for the Badgers in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, I feel like all year my Badgers been playing with house money. Hey, we were picked 10th in the conference. We've made it as high as a projected 2 seed up there. So I'll be happy with anything Sweet 16 or better. We make it in second weekend. I'm happy. We fall short of that. Johnny Davis, man. Johnny Davis just needs to go off. He goes off, we could take down anybody.
That kid can shoot, man. And look, I think the Big Ten tournament's about to be insane when you look at the capability of every team in the Big Ten. I mean, Maryland just took Purdue to the limit. So
yeah,
Big Ten tournament's about to be insane.
Yeah, and my Hurricanes on the other end. If somebody beats Duke, it's anybody's game. Somebody beats Duke.
How about Notre Dame being at the top of the ACC? I think it's incredible.
How about the Irish? They play a slow paced game. They can hit threes with the best of them, and they're hanging with some tough teams.
And I don't think anybody's happier in the country. So personally, I prefer coaches wearing suits on the sideline. Mike Bray, obviously.
I'm aware you're a fan of this. Yes.
Yeah. I will die on that hill, but that's just me. But, I don't think Mike Bray has ever worn a suit, and I don't think anybody's happier than him on the sidelines right now. He can wear sweatpants. He's cool.
Mike Bray gets it done every year. It's ridiculous. Notre Dame baseball is starting soon. This is opening week for college baseball, and lofty expectations for the Irish again after a terrific season last year in which they wound up losing to the Omaha champ, right? They lost at Mississippi State.
Yeah, and Link Jarrett's got that going. Terrific coach. I actually met Link randomly at the 2019 Cape Cod League All-Star game. He was out watching Nico Cavadas at the at Eldridge Park, home of the Orleans Firebirds. So random interaction. Link Jarrett's a great dude, and he's got that program going.
Yeah, they're cooking, and we're gonna get cooking soon. Okay, that'll do it. Episode 4 in the books. We'll be back again next week. He's Brennan King. I'm Max Toma. Thanks for joining us.